Why, as customers, do we forgive some brands and destroy others when they mess up? Well, I've got a really interesting way of figuring that out. And it starts by me asking you a question. Would you listen to me play guitar badly for around 3 minutes? I'm not actually going to make you listen to me play guitar badly for 3 minutes. But it does link me to a story about one of my favourite ever bands and watching a live performance of them on stage, and disaster strikes. The crowd seem oblivious and still going wild, but it's so obvious. Obvious. This performance is completely broken. Hey, I'm Simon, I'm the founder of Vault 7 Agency, and over the past 20 years or so I've worked with literally hundreds of brands to help them optimize for rewarding relationships with their consumers. I'm also a very average guitar player. So I'm going to put this down so it's no longer a distraction and I don't offend you sonically with my terrible playing. I've not actually played for a while, in my defense. I'm usually much better when I'm practiced. I grew up on pop punk bands, you know, wallet chains, skateboarding at weekends, generally being a surly teenager, aka cool kid. One of my favorite bands was Blink-182. In fact, they still are. They defined my youth and I still love them to this day. In fact, my proudest parenting moment was bringing my son to the concert when the three of them got back together recently. Proudest parenting moment, but not the most like parenting moment, considering some of the jokes and songs. Anyway, my story isn't actually about that live concert, but rather, you know, when you're lying at bed at night and sort of scrolling through YouTube, and I came across one of the videos of Blink-182 performing live. I think it was on like a German TV show or something. I'm probably wrong, but that's not the point. The point is that during the performance, the guitarist Tom's guitar almost completely dies. My guitar, let's make this. Well, at some points it's in, then it's out, then it's in, then it's out again, and then no guitar at all. You like it? Technically, the performance is totally broken. Tom, the guitarist, is trying to draw attention to this. It's not a secret. But here's the thing, the crowd was still going wild. Surely they're hearing what we're hearing, right? Like I said, you wouldn't listen to me play guitar badly for 3 minutes odd, would you? So in this moment, when I clearly should have been asleep, my teenage love of Blink-182 taught me more about marketing and loyalty and relationships than any marketing textbook could. And here it is. If your brand is strong enough, if your relationship is strong enough, people don't need you to play every note perfectly. They already know the song. Musical interlude. Strong brands with strong consumer relationships are allowed from time to time to be imperfect. Tom's guitar, Blink's guitar drops out, but the crowd doesn't. That's the difference between a performance, a one-off, and a relationship. When people love a brand, or in my case, a band, they're emotionally invested. They're not analyzing every single performance like some sort of quality inspector ticking off a chart. We're able to fill in the missing notes. We lean in instead of walking out. And in that instance, we can say, you know, weak brands, weak relationships are judged on execution, or developing relationships are judged on execution, whereas strong brands, strong relationships are judged on intention that's known. This is why I fundamentally believe that brand equity is both awareness and forgiveness. So a great brand test is not necessarily how is it when everything's working fine and everything's perfect, but actually how is it when things mess up, when the beep poop really hits the fan. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. I haven't decided if I'm going to curse on this channel or not. So let's say poop. When the poop really hits the fan, what happens to the fans that hopefully aren't in front of the fan? So using the metaphor, we can ask ourselves, like, how well do our consumers know our songs? If our guitar is played badly, if our guitar cuts out, do they still know who we are? Do they still know what we're trying to say? And that's where sort of real brand consistency comes in when building a relationship, because people can confidently say they know who you are, they know what we are. To do this, though, we have to ensure that our positioning is really strong, our story is super clear, and our values are repeated often enough so our audience starts to recognize who we are, even if occasionally the delivery is messy. They can sort of do the mental autocorrect of, yeah, I know who they are, I know what they mean. In my metaphor, I know the song, and I love the song. Blink have some great songs. This is where the caution comes in. This right to be forgiven, understood, is earned, not owned. It certainly isn't mandated. Blink, in this case, could get away with a broken guitar because they've spent years getting it right, building on performance after performance after performance, being good. That's why you won't listen to me play guitar badly for 3 minutes straight. I haven't earned that right with you. You don't know who I am as a musician. It would be painful. I mean, even with Blink-182, if every show sounded like that, the relationship would be damaged, the magic would vanish. And this is sort of the danger zone when it comes to brands and relationship. Consistency builds that credit. Inconsistency will spend it. And I promise you, it's much easier and much faster to spend it than it is to build it. It's amazingly powerful. Now I need to find a really weird marketing metaphor where I can get my skateboard out and really relive all of my teenage years. And so, until next time I find something weirdly interesting that I feel compelled to share, whoop, a pleasure.